So I haven't actually hit any shots with this club yet, but my first impressions are it looks like a lot more rounded over the ball than the previous glide wedges, and you can actually see where they've tapered in the hosel here.
Yeah.
Which actually looks really nice over the golf ball.
That's 93 yards. Enough to get a bit jazzy with it.
See how we do.
You're flagging it. Yeah, that's 93 yards, well hit.
That spun a lot. You see how much that span?
Just sat. How'd you feel like launching it when you're hitting full shots?
I think that did actually launch relatively high. Obviously we're going into a green that's slightly lower than us, so it's going to make it look like it's launching a bit higher. But it was quite a nice shape, just a little draw into the green, which off this lie was a really nice shot shape. I still can't get over how much that spun.
Just grabbed and didn't move anywhere.
We've got this extra like half groove on the base of the club. So Ping are saying that that gives you like 1,000 RPM more spin. And you can actually see in that shot, because that must have spun back quite a few feet.
It's a tester, isn't it? A bit thinny.
That is not going to spin, because I've thinned it straight over the...
Go on, hit another one. I was about to say a match made in heaven, but I'll reserve judgment just for now. Go on then. Again, I mean, it's right at it. See what it's...
That's spinning.
Yeah.
It's finished right next to the first one.
So one just a 6 foot, one just a 3 foot, you know.
Let's head down and have a look.
Yeah.
So the big thing that Ping are focusing on with these wedges is like increased spin. So they've got deeper grooves and also the extra half groove on the front. So they're really looking at providing a club that's just giving you loads of spin around the greens. And you can see on those shots that it definitely provided that. I think let's hit a few chip shots and see how it performs on some of the shorter shots. So we can see I hit 2 good shots quite near the pin, but I also did thin one over the back. So we're going to take the new 58. I've got this in the I2 sole and see how we do from here. I've left myself a very tricky shot.
Understatement of the year. That's it. Right. Is that spinning?
Pretty impressed with
that. A little bit there?
I think it did have a bit of grab on it. I mean, I wouldn't have got it to sit that softly if there was no spin on it at all. But you can also see this is quite a low bounce club, so that's helped with that shot because I can get through the grass nicely. Also, like, just because of the way that the sole is ground, you can sit it really open without feeling like the front of the club is sticking out the ground. So that was something that was really like just helpful on that shot. It just felt really good over the ball. Whereas sometimes when you lay it open, you just have no confidence. You feel like the leading edge is going to go straight into the back of the ball. So this shot shape just sits really nicely behind the ball on this kind of shot. I think especially we're going to see that in bunkers as well. Right. Big thing when people are choosing new wedges is like how they perform in a bunker. Obviously it's a thing quite a lot of amateurs struggle with. They want something that they feel comfortable with and looks good behind the ball. I think this I2 looks excellent and the way it sits on the ground. So I think it's going to perform really well out the bunkers, but let's hit some shots and see. Again, the face just looks great when it sits open. It just sits flush to the ground, and obviously it doesn't feel like you're going to get that thin, which a lot of amateurs are worried about when they're in the bunker.
Yeah.
I think also the tapered hosel helps that because it just looks thinner and it doesn't look like it's going to come into the ball and get that potential shank that people see. I better not do that now, I just said it.
Nice.
You can see that actually spun quite a lot. I mean, this green generally don't get much spin because it's downhill and it's running out, it's quite firm. So the fact that it actually spin and stopped up a bit just shows how much these grooves are actually doing in this wedge. So the big thing about these clubs is the fact that they're designed for increased spin. So they've got a lot deeper grooves in the face and they've also got this additional half groove on the bottom. So this is actually designed to, and Ping are saying that it's going to give you 1,000 more revs of spin. So the other thing is this is the Hydro Pill finish. So we've seen this on some of their irons and they've brought it into the wedges now. So this is designed so it repels water and it just like reduces friction when you're in a bit of longer grass. These wedges come with 4 different sole options. So that's designed for different shots, different people of different abilities and what's going to preference and suit them the best. So what we've got here is the SS, so this is the standard sole. It's just designed for, well, the name's on the tin, for your standard shot. So this is for a shot where you're not really going to manipulate the face much, maybe just a generic pitch shot. In my setup here, I've gone for the standard sole in the 50 and the 54 because generally I just pitch with them. I'm not manipulating the face that much. If I'm using them around the greens, it's for kind of your standard bump and run or just a standard lob shot. Whereas with my 58, I've gone for the I2 because this is something that I'm going to get a lot more lofted. I'm going to manipulate the face more, maybe de-loft it, open the face in bunkers for really lob shots and stuff like that. So this has a lot less bounce. You can see here it's designed like the original I2 lob wedge, which we saw before from Ping. They haven't had to style out like this for quite a few years. And you can see that it replicates the shape that we've seen in kind of the tailor-made high toe and the Callaway PM grind with this like high toe style here. This is just a great shape for if you want to manipulate something around the green, because it's so easy to open the face up and just not feel like the leading edge is going to come into the golf ball. So this is a really good club to look at if you're someone who likes to manipulate the club a lot around the greens and play different shots. So the other two options we've got are the thin sole and the wide sole. It's kind of in the name what they are. The soles are wider and thinner, but the wide sole is designed for people who kind of dig down into the ball a lot and are trying to prevent that leading edge from hitting into the golf ball too much. So it's more forgiving for people who are not quite getting the contact they want and want to take kind of those knife shots out of the equation. Then on the other end we've got the thin sole. So this is thinner, it's designed for people who want to nip the ball off the ground more. It has less bounce than some of the other options. So really you want to check out the different soles and see which is right for you. So we've got the standard sole here. Obviously we know there's 4 different soles in this range, but the standard sole is really just for kind of your generic shots where you're not wanting to manipulate the face too much. You don't really need that much forgiveness because you're striking them quite well, and it's just kind of a standard chip shot sole. So we've just got like a long chip and run kind of shot here, straight down the green, so we're going to put it to the test. You see that checked up a bit initially, yeah, but then just ran out once it got down to the downslope. It just feels really nice ground contact, and it actually felt quite soft off the face, which was nice.
That's nice. How important is that soft feel for you then? Is that going to go in? No. Just. How important is that soft feel for you when you're hitting them? When you're choosing wedges and gaming them?
I think I'm quite a feel player around the green. I'm not really someone who works a lot on trying to like know exactly how far I hit each chip shot. I just kind of see the shot and want to hit it. So liking the feel of a wedge is really important, and knowing that when it comes off the face, it's not going to feel like it's coming off really fast, and you feel like you can hit that spot on the green that you're looking for. And it just felt like a really nice contact.
You took a good game. One last shot, go on. They do check out really, really nice.
Yeah, I hit that a bit firmer, so you can see it's just
landed a bit further, but it's still trying to grab on its first bounce.
You can see it grabbing on its first bounce and then catching the run out afterwards. Obviously that's a 54, it's coming off quite low down the hill, but that is the shot I'm trying to play, just kind of like a low chip and run.
My sort of arch nemesis, 50-yard-ish pitch shot. How do these Ping wedges perform under the pressure for a shot that's pretty awkward for quite a lot of people?
Yeah, so I've got the 58 here, we've got this in the I2 sole. So we've seen this perform really well around the greens because you can manipulate the face a lot, so for bunker shots and flop shots it's good like that. But obviously on this shot it is slightly bulkier than the SS grind. This has come back from like the original design of the I2 that we saw, when they had the full sets and they had the sand wedges in that. And also you can see that it has like the high toe design, so we've also seen that in the Callaway PM grind and in the TaylorMade high toe. Visually behind the ball on this shot it does look a bit bigger, but I think we're still going to see the same like forgiveness and strike qualities. But
keep it well. Played it pretty nice.
So you're never going to get as much spin on this shot as you are with a full shot, because you know you haven't got the speed behind it and you're not getting enough friction across the face. But we did actually see some grab there, and it did actually spin quite a bit for this level of shot, which was really great. It's actually a really nice shot to hit. I think this is something that is actually really playable further out, not just necessarily around the greens.
Just a huge plus then.
Yeah. Let's hit another and
yeah,
check it wasn't a fluke.
Flaunt your skills some more, go on.
So I didn't catch that quite as nicely. It was a slightly heavier strike, but it still grabbed and it's run out and finished just right at the other one. So I think we've got about 6 foot there. Simple up and down.
I think that's French for easy peasy.
I think Ping have really delivered what they said they were going to with these clubs. Like, the main selling point was, you know, the deeper grooves, that they were going to get more spin, and we saw like on a variety of shots they were just producing so much spin, especially on those full shots into the green. Like, I couldn't believe how much they were actually checking up. So from that perspective they really delivered. You know, these wedges look great, they provided something for everything with the 4 different soles. So, you know, if you're a high handicap, if you're a low handicap, if you want to manipulate the face, if you don't, there is something there for you. You know, we've tested these out on like a wide variety of shots around the green, and they performed great in all different scenarios. So I think people really need to go out and, you know, test the different soles, see which is the best for them, because it's really a case of what kind of shots you want to hit for which one is going to be right for you. There's not really one sole for each person. But Ping have definitely pulled together a great wedge in this, and I definitely recommend people checking it out. So that's all from the Ping Glide 3.0 wedges. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you all again soon.